folks, Paul Abernathy here. Welcome to another episode of Let's Ask the Hog. Look, so many people are asking code questions on all social media platforms. They're even sending them into places like Nika and getting code questions, but you're not getting the detailed answers. We created TradeHog for one reason and one reason only: to be able to bring back high, accurate results for any question that you want to ask in the field. In fact, I just got an email yesterday where a guy used TradeHog to go against the inspector because the inspector was wrong, and he used TradeHog to show the inspector the code references and what it meant to be accurate. And guess what? It changed the outcome because TradeHog is designed to be accurate, and it's a continual learning model. It means you can have a conversation with it. It's unlike ChatGPT. It's unlike Gronk, it's unlike Gemini because it combines all of them, and then we go in and manually add our own manuals, standard documents. We tweak it and we make it designed just for the trade. But let me give you an example of how detailed this can be. All right, let's go on and go real quickly and look at something here. All right, so this is TradeHog. If you're not familiar with TradeHog, just go to tradehog.net. .com or .org, it doesn't matter. And so when you're over here, you're going to get a free try anytime you want. You just scroll down here, right? And right here, you can type in your question. You'll get a couple responses before it's going to ask you to upgrade. That's logical. You want to be able to use this as a resource. It works fine on a mobile device, a tablet. It's great for in the field. But let's go on and ask it a question. Now, real quickly, I want to show you here. So this is the Nika question of the day. Okay, so this was the question, and here's the answer that was given. Okay, all right. And so here's the question. I have a newly finished 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, 200 amp service. I have a small garage that I'm trying to bring power to. I have 4 spare breaker spaces. It says I was planning to add a 150 amp sub panel in the detached garage using direct burial cable and spare breakers in the house. My question is, will I need to mount a meter base on the exterior of the garage and bring a new service instead of just an overcurrent protected device in a 150 amp panel with a breaker inside the main house? Okay, a disconnect outside the garage and another 150 amp main breaker inside the sub panel. Some local guys, told me that since the garage isn't attached, it has to have its own meter, which kind of defeats the purpose of using these spare breaker spaces. I'm trying to keep from doing this work twice. So remember, folks, one of the key things to remember is when you do seek advice from people, you want to make sure you're getting accurate advice, but you also want to make sure that the people that are giving you that advice can give you code references, can really point you to where you need to be. Okay, well, obviously the answer to that is you can have a detached structure, and obviously that's the point of the feeder in 225 of the NEC, to be able to take a separate feeder to that location. And there's other rules around that. But look, the simple question to keep you from doing something twice is, what does TradeHog say about this, and can it give me better detail? And the reason I say that is because you look at the answer here, they're giving you this detail, right? It's telling you, thank you for the question. Unless local code requirements change that, the NEC does not require meters. Those are required by utilities. Very accurate. That's not a problem. However, you have to wait for the response, and we want deeper results. Okay, so what do we do? All right, well, what we're going to do is we're going to post it right in here. We're going to paste it in here, and we're going to ask TradeHog what TradeHog thinks. All right. So send it into TradeHog. You see I've got it all posted here. Same question. It's thinking. Remember, we're using a new model, and the new model is supposed to bring back very specific and detailed and compact answers. Okay. Some of the stuff now we have working in the background so that you don't have to take up all the text on the screen, so it makes it a little easier out in the field. But look at this detailed response. Here it says you do not need a separate meter or service just because the garage is detached. The NEC allows you to feed a detached garage with a feeder from the house panel, your 200 amp service. The protection and protect it with a breaker. Therefore, as long as you install the feeder and disconnecting means correctly, a second meter would only be required if the utility, not the NEC, requires it, okay? But here's the neat thing about TradeHog, folks, is that it goes deeper, okay? It goes in and says what the NEC actually requires for detached garage, okay? Overcurrent protected device in the house is fine, 150 amp breaker in the house, okay? Gives you all the code references. Disconnecting means that the detached garage is required, okay? The main breaker of the garage, main breaker in the garage subpanel, it is readily accessible. It meets the nearest point of entrance intent or a separate disconnect outside the house, okay? Again, gives you all the code references, right? Here it says only one feeder to the detached structure. Generally, you typically run one feeder to the garage. It's giving you that reference as well. But look, it also goes in, here's the big gotcha, grounding, neutrals, and it also, notice that it's trying to keep you from making mistakes where you don't get that when you normally ask other people. They don't go into detail. Check it out here. 4-wire feeder, installing a grounding electrode system, okay? Keep the neutral isolated. Again, gives you some quotes. We've tailored this, okay? Now, about the proposed breaker in the house and disconnect outside and main breaker subpanel, this setup, it goes and gives you extreme detail, okay? So I just wanted to show you that it also goes at the end and asks you additional questions. It says, for example, if you tell me, 1, the distance from the house to the garage, 2, whether you're trenching and what wiring method you want, UF cable, conduit with THWN, etc., and the major load you expect, EV, welder, compressor, heat, I can point you to the cleanest compliant layout, including whether the subpanel main breaker can serve as the required disconnect in your case. Folks, I don't know whether you get this or not. This is so extreme detail that you don't get this on the normal AI models because it just gives you a bunch of generic information that rambles on. This information is detailed, step by step by step, and it knows what to ask you. Why? Because it was built by professionals. Jeff is in the background. I'm working on it. We constantly, and it's not just for electrical, plumbing, mechanical, building, inspections. That's what TradeHog. Every trade person out there, every design professional, every inspector, you need TradeHog. We designed it for you, and it is cheap, okay? It's cheaper than getting ChatGPT. It's cheaper than getting any other of the AI models because you can get in on the light one, or you can go in with our basic or premium. You can get a mobile app. You can even get Office Hog, which is a back-end module that answers business-related questions at the same extreme detail. Folks, this is a no-brainer. Really, for your business, this is the best investment you can make. Keeps you out of trouble. You don't get paid to do things twice. You get paid to do things once, the correct way. Stop failing inspections. Educate people. Make sure you check other people's statements so that you know that they're accurate. This is what TradeHog does, folks. Check it out, please. Go over to tradehog.net. .org or .com. Give it a try for free. I'm sure you're going to find a need for this in your business. Take care.